I'm Kyle Gorman with the Employer Blueprint, and let's talk about top 5 terms that managers use. So what I tried to do here is I tried to look at what are some common terms that I hear people using or that you may have heard people using, and that I often get questions on to say, now wait a second, what does that mean? Or I've heard my boss talk about this and I'm not really sure how he defines that. So let's talk through a few of those. The first one is ROI. We hear that a lot in business terms, and occasionally even see that on commercials and funny jokes, but we hear about ROI, which simply means return on investment. But as you break that down, what it ultimately means is, what are we investing in this project, in this client, in this task, in this product or service, and is it worth it? Do we have a good return on that? Is it really worth it for us? And so we can look at ROI from a true financial perspective, but we can also look at it in the investment that we make in our time or in others' time. So there may be a project that I want my employees really to do, but I look at it and say, there's not a good enough ROI. The time that it's going to spend, it's going to take them 12 hours to do this project, and it's really not worth it for them to do that because they could be doing on something else that's more valuable to the company. So ROI is a big term that kind of gets thrown around and means a lot of things to a lot of different people, but it is important to know it. Another one that's really common is KPIs or metrics. A lot of times these terms are kind of used interchangeable, but KPI, especially in the last, I would say 10 years, has become a really popular statement that people are using. And KPI means key performance indicator. And what this determines is, what are the areas of accountability that we're going to hold people to? What are the things that we're going to look at and say, are we checking these boxes? Are these things getting done? A KPI, as an example, for a salesperson, may be how many new contracts are coming in or how much revenue is being generated. And so a lot of organizations have KPIs from at every level in the organization, which I highly recommend actually in business coaching, that every person in every department within the organization should have KPIs that they're looking at. But it is important for everybody to really understand what KPI means, because we tend to throw this term around and it may not necessarily make sense to everybody. But the KPI is what we're holding you accountable to doing, to make sure that kind of at a snapshot that we're doing well and we're moving in the right direction. Another one that we often hear about is P&L, which is profit and loss, a P&L statement. And so businesses typically look at a P&L oftentimes on a monthly, sometimes a quarterly basis, and certainly on an annual basis. But this tells us profit, how much money has come in; loss, how much money have we potentially lost. So this is oftentimes one key performance indicator that a company uses to determine their health and their success, is how much money have we made and or how much money have we lost in the organization. And so this is really a simple thing, but we oftentimes in business forget that maybe not everybody understands that, and we just talk about our P&L. But ultimately it's a financial snapshot of the company. Where have we spent our money and where have we made our money? Another key term that often gets used is mission, and sometimes this is something that gets thrown around a little bit, but you'll hear people talk about, well, that's not really our mission. And mission is really, it's a very, very high level concept of what we are in business to do. And typically a mission is so high level that it sometimes doesn't even have anything to do with the industry that they're in. So a company's mission may be something as broad as we want to revolutionize the technology industry. We want to change the world by, and then you can fill in the blank from there. And so a mission is a very broad picture of what we're here to do. We're here to change lives by doing these things. But a mission is ultimately kind of the one high level thing that we want to do, and this is the industry that we're going to do it in. And the last thing that we sometimes hear people talk about are core values. And what our core values mean is those are the things that mean most to our company. So our core values are going to be different than our competitors' core values or another company's core values. But what are the values that we really stand on? So we stand on integrity, and we stand on honesty, and we stand on being a high-level provider or a low-cost provider, or being best in the industry. These are some of the core values. So this kind of gives people an idea of, these are the things that we believe in. These are the things that we try to operate under, more from a personality perspective and kind of a mental perspective than necessarily the nuts and bolts and the KPIs. And so these are the things that we say as a company, this is what we believe in. Those are your core values. And it's important for you as an employee and for managers and leaders to believe and buy into the core values of a company if you're really going to be successful in that company. So these are 5 terms that often get used by managers and leaders, and it's important for everybody to understand them. And so my message to those of you that are managers and are leaders is be sure that whenever you're using these types of terms or other jargon in your industry, that you're explaining to people what that means, especially newer employees, so that they don't feel lost or feel stupid because they don't understand exactly what you're talking about. We tend to throw these things around, and our peers may certainly understand it, but be sure that everybody understands the types of terms that you're throwing around that may just not be common in normal language. I'm Kyle Gorman with the Employer Blueprint. I hope you found some value in this. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and until next time, have a great day.